on. That's 3 points for the winner.
Andrew Pagett.
Whoever's top tonight comes back for the second stage. Delighted to be joined by one of our winners from yesterday. He'll be in a good mood, Joe Perry, and you can relax now, Joe, having got the job done. We'll turn your microphone on.
That's a good start. Yeah, I'm in a good mood, Dave. Yeah, it was a good day yesterday. Looking forward to be back in the commentary box today and watching the snooker. Should be in for a good group. Always great to see one of the game's greats, former world champion Shaun Murphy, in action.
Well, he's had a go at long red. We saw plenty of those flying in last season, but of course getting back to work may take a bit of time. Andrew Pagett, as I say, has had matches. He came through that Q school, and that means he's got a 2-year card again, so I'm sure he'll be feeling good as the season begins. Doesn't have to worry about rankings in the first season.
One.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see how Andrew gets on today. I was chatting to him yesterday. He's had a
5.
He's had a few issues with regarding his practice table. It's been difficult for him to get on it just lately. So he was here yesterday, putting some hours in on the practice tables here, trying to get used to the speed of these tables. I can tell you that yesterday the table I played on was absolutely like lightning, so reactive. It's very, very difficult to get your practice table at home for anything like this. They were absolutely beautiful.
Well, on paper, I mean, of course, we're not playing on paper, but anyway, on paper, this is going to be Pagett's toughest match against, obviously, one of the big hitters, so you'd love to get something out of it. And try and catch Shaun Murphy cold before he's really played in.
Yeah, that's the thing in this tournament. You don't really know how much work people have put in, especially the top players, the big hitters that are going to be competing throughout the season. You know, they need a bit of time off, especially someone like Shaun. He played so much snooker last season. Probably needed that time off just to regroup and get the enthusiasm back to get on the practice table. So, like you say, good chance for Andrew to catch Shaun a little bit cold, maybe. But there you see that, just that little shot there, just rolling through for the red. Just overhit it by 2 or 3 inches. That's the speed of the table.
Andrew Pagett. 11.
So he's left a sitter for Murphy. Let's see if he can do something here. As I say, he played so well last season, really from the turn of the new year. He kept saying that he felt something was coming, and my word, it arrived. Players' Championship, Tour Championship. Of course, did lose first round at the Crucible in a nerve-shredding decider to Si Jiahui.
Yeah, that looked like a big upset at the time, didn't it? And until we saw what Si Jiahui was all about. Played tremendous at the World Championships, and he's got his season off to a good start here in the Championship League as well. So another early
Blue ball
tester for Shaun Murphy. Something that he would be very confident of knocking in mid-season. Yeah, so maybe he's been on the golf course more than the snooker table, Dave.
Well, as you say, I mean, you know, there was a point last season that would have been a certainty, that shot, but this is only about 10 minutes into the new season for him.
Well, he's not been punished. And if anything, he's been rewarded. That was a long way out. Rest shot there from Andrew, and not only has he missed the red, but he's spread them and he's brought the black into play. So that could be very costly in many ways, because it gives Shaun a chance to get his hand on the table, but he won't be happy with that one. He's on the pink, but not as nice as he'd like to be.
Yeah, his top 16 place was actually under threat early last season on the sort of provisional rankings, but he didn't seem to trouble him. The thing with Murphy is he genuinely loves being out there, he loves playing. It's not a chore for him, I don't think. So as the season went on, his game just returned.
Again, another indication there of just how fast these tables play. Shaun was very surprised. But it wasn't too bad. Cue ball hitting the brown just meant he had a nice angle on the green to come back down
11
to the scoring zone, and now he's nicely on this red. This will bring the black back into play, and all of a sudden it's a chance for Shaun to rack up a nice break here and get his arm going. Exactly what Andrew Pagett didn't want to happen.
Yeah, I'm sure that it was very satisfying for Murphy to play so well last season, but also to convert that into winning trophies, because there was a danger he was being slightly left behind by some of his contemporaries. You know, Mark Selby, Neil Robertson, around the same age, racking up the titles over the years, and obviously Shaun's won the World Championship and the Masters in the UK, but he just missed out on a few as well along the way. But he's up to 11 ranking events now, plus plenty of other tournaments. And I'm sure this season will be contending for many more. Worth remembering, he's been in 4 World Finals.
27.
Obviously, 3 of them he didn't win, but shows you how well he's played at the Crucible over the years.
Yeah, he's a fantastic player. I think what I've found with Shaun, when he just drops out of form for a little while, I think there was a little patch a few years ago where I think he realised his tactical side of the game wasn't as good as the others, and he tried to work on it and develop it. But you know, if it doesn't come naturally to you, it's very difficult to turn yourself into a Selby or a John Higgins type player. And I think Shaun realised that, maybe with a bit of help from people around him, and he sort of got back to basics really, and just does now what he's good at. And when he's in form, you know, there's no better scorer than Shaun Murphy, no better ball striker. Sometimes you have to just accept that you're never going to be a tactical genius and just play to your strengths. And when he does that, he's a match for anyone.
35.
Well, a couple of full starts in this frame. He missed a long red, he missed the blue, but now nicely in again. Ooh, that black just wobbled a bit.
42. $43.
It's an interesting group, this. Tian Peng Fei, of course, he beat Ronnie O'Sullivan, got to the semi-finals of the Welsh last season. Quite a dangerous player. Shaun will play him last. Lucas Klecker's very dogged campaigner from Germany.
$50.
Yeah, this has been nice tidy work from Shaun Murphy.
51.
To go in and around the black spot. He's had complete control of that cue ball. It's hardly moved. Been nicely on his next ball every time. And now he's just a few more pots away from securing this first frame. And he's also got the chance to open up with a century if he can clear the table. It's not a bad way to start your season.
$58.
Yeah, and already I think Pagett will look back on this frame as an opportunity missed. He did have the early chances. And in this format, if you go 1-0 down, you're
65.
under it. You're going to have to win all the 3 frames now to get the win. But the worst thing is he's given
66.
Murphy table time. You know, at the very start he was a bit rusty, but every ball he pots here is feeling more comfortable.
Yeah, and you get the impression that it wouldn't take Shaun too many hours on the practice table to get back into decent nick. Just look at the way he cues the ball. He's not someone that has an unorthodox action. It's probably one of the best actions we've got on tour. So once he puts a few hours in and gets his timing almost up to scratch, he's going to be looking like he always does pretty much.
Barry Hawkins looking good here. Already snookers required against Jamie O'Neill. So
79.
Barry, of course, he's dropped out the top 16. He missed out on the Crucible for the first time in many years. So he'll be looking to try and get back up this year. Well, Murphy's missed that. So the break is ended at 79. But it's a good start in the end from him. He leads Andrew Pagett here by 1 frame to 0. Frame here. Andrew Pagett did have chances early on, but Murphy eventually made that winning break. Barry Hawkins has won the first frame next door against Jamie O'Neill. Now then, we have a competition running today to win 2 tickets to see Shaun Murphy at the Championship. Of course, he's double qualified, winning the Players' Championship and the Tour Championship. The tournament is November the 13th and 19th in Bolton, and we don't know exactly which day he'll play, but it'll be one of the first 4 days. The question is, in winning the Players' Championship, it was one of the great performances actually last season. In winning that Players' Championship in Wolverhampton, how many century breaks did Shaun Murphy make in the tournament? So how many centuries did he make in that Players' Championship? Tweet your answers to the official Championship League account at CL Snooker. That's at CL Snooker, and we'll reveal the winner and indeed the answer this evening. Good luck.
Another little early chance here for Shaun. Andrew just misjudged that escape. Too much slide off the side cushion, so red to middle. Yeah, nicely, confidently played, and there's a few nice reds dotted around here, so can play on a few loose ones to start with, build this break nicely. We've seen now that he's got his eye in. Now purposefully
8.
just left himself a little bit low on this red. May just choices here, can just run through and glance one into play, or more power, bring a few more into play. Just like that. Yeah, and he's held for the black. So he looks in confident mood.
Yeah, I think that's one of his great strengths, actually. He always seems to look like he's sort of in control of things. He's got this great presence at the table. And obviously when he's playing really well, it's even more pronounced. It's like, this is my table and, you know, I'm going to dominate it.
Yeah, he's got a few different speeds to his walk, hasn't he, Dave? When he's absolutely flying, he turns it up a few miles an hour. He starts stomping around the table. Yeah, very intimidating player when he's in full flow.
There's a match last year, wasn't there, in Wales, where he made a 1-4-5 and a 1-4-7 in the same match. It was only a best of 7.
16.
Yeah, he may play a little gentle cannon here. Reds are nicely spread, but it's all blocking each other a little bit. So one little cannon, if this goes right, it opens everything up. Yeah, nicely played. So he's just gradually nudging these balls into play.
23. $24. $31. $32.
Well, after the first few shots in the first frame, we thought he was looking a little bit rusty, but it looks anything but that now. Striking the ball nicely. Cue ball under perfect control. Looking very confident. A chance here, you wouldn't be surprised to see him wrap this frame up in one visit as well.
$40.
It's been noticeable over the course of the event how quickly the real top players, you know, the top 8 players, the top 10 players in the world have started to play well. Mark Williams was really impressive. Kyron Wilson, yesterday Judd Trump, looked good from the off. And here's Shaun Murphy doing the same.
48.
Yeah, it's clear evidence that the top players, they get used to
54.
the table so quickly because these tables are so reactive and so fast. It's very easy to lose control of the cue ball. And I've heard a few chats going on in the players' lounge, players saying, you know, they're in perfect position. Next minute they're 4 or 5 inches from where they want to be just because the table's caught them out. But the top players, they get the speed of the table so quickly. It just makes things so much easier. Keep getting on the next ball exactly how you want to. The game's pretty easy. Just like Shaun's making it look here. So already just a few more pots away from securing this second frame.
63.
Yeah, I'll need another red after the black. With a chance, I guess, to make a big break as well, which, of course, in this format can decide placings if everything else is tied. What he's also done very well, I think he's just focused here. You know, he's back after quite a long break, enjoying himself as he should be in the summer, but straight back into
71.
match mode here, and that red should make it 2-0.
Yeah, and like you say, a chance for a very big break.
78.
A possible 1-4-5 if he takes blacks with the remaining 5 reds. And he's left himself a bit to do here, though. Blue's really hampering him. We know he's one of the best rest players in the world, but this is a test.
$79. 86. $87.
We've had a couple of 140s in this event. Tepchara knew. Shaun McAllister, actually, of whom not that much was known. He was an amateur, but he made a 140 in his group. There's no high break prize, but as I say, the high break can
94.
come into play in group standings. And also, it's sending a message, isn't it, to everyone else in the group that Murphy's feeling good, playing well.
95.
So frame 2 of the new season for Shaun Murphy, this black for his first century. He made 48 last season. Right, it's like he's never been away.
102. $103. $110.
Yeah, that shot there tells us that Shaun Murphy is in good form. He's played to perfection.
Well, not
Shaun
to
Murphy,
be for the total
110,
clearance.
I'm afraid.
He'll be disappointed not to go on and make the 145, but 110, it was a lovely break. He's fully in control and a big favourite now to get the 3 points. He leads 2-0. .2-0, and every inch of 2-0 this to Shaun Murphy. Breaks a 79 and 110. He's looked really good so far. So Andrew Pagett has somehow got to try and stop the onslaught if he's going to get anything out of this match. Of course, the best he can do now is a draw. Still 1-0 to Barry Hawkins against Jamie O'Neill on table 2.
Yep, so impressive so far from Shaun Murphy. And straight away he's eyeing this long red up. Gone, very nice.
One.
Yep, this is very impressive stuff from Shaun. Not a lot Andrew Pagett can do about this, really. Missed a couple in the first frame, but other than that, not done nothing wrong. Right, pretty much identical shot to the other pocket to what he missed in the first frame when we wasn't sure how he was feeling. No problem this time.
Yes, I mean, there was literally about 5 minutes at the start where he looked a bit rusty, but that soon all went away.
Seven.
Now then, I can see here Tian Peng Fei, who'll be next on the table. He's just having a little practice next door. As I say, he had a really good run at that Welsh Open. He beat Ronnie O'Sullivan, he got to the semis. So he's the next highest seed in the group. We'll play Murphy in the last match later tonight.
Oh, there's a red underneath the main bunch of reds here. Shaun's purposely played for that red, knowing full well that when he pots it,
20.
Bring some more reds into play and still land nicely on the black. It's all about judging the speed on this kind of shot. Doesn't want to finish too near the side cushion. Yeah, there you see, he's just
21.
lost the cue ball a fraction. So good pot needed here. Doesn't have to do anything with the cue ball. Red's gone up near the blue, so as long as he can just drop this black in, he should have a choice of reds. He won't be right behind either one of them, but he'll be in range to pot, like I say, one in the middle or one in either corner. Just got to make sure of this black.
Made that look very easy, but that's been really the case throughout this match from Murphy so far. He's always had great self-confidence, which of course in this sport is so important. You have to believe in yourself. Because right from boyhood, when he was a young teenager, he was playing the top players in exhibition matches before the old Matchroom Premier League. They would have sort of one-frame challenges, and he was sponsored by the sponsor of the tournament, so he would get to play, turn up in his waistcoat, rubbing shoulders with the Steve Davises, Stephen Hendrys, Ronnie O'Sullivans, and obviously that was a major motivation to keep working hard at his snooker.
Yeah, well, once again, this is looking very ominous. From the first red on the start of the previous frame, he dropped into the middle, it looked ominous, and ever since that long red went in, it's pretty much the same in this frame.
37.
The performance has been that good. That's probably one of the worst shots he's played, wrong side of the blue.
Meanwhile, there's Lucas Kleckers. He'll be playing Tian Peng Fei in the next match, and he's just getting a bit of practice in next door. This next shot might determine how long it is before he gets on the table.
42.
Shaun Murphy just a little further away from the red than he would have liked, but it's the sort of ball you always fancy him to knock in.
$43.
Yeah, everything's fine in the middle of the pocket, isn't it? No knuckles are being hit. Everything's bang in the middle. Got to feel a little bit here for Andrew Pagett. He knew he was in for a tough game, Shaun Murphy, but probably wasn't
50.
expecting to play quite this well. But again, he's just overdone that one slightly, so a glimmer of hope. But we know how good he is with the rest. But this one is more difficult than it should have been.
$51.
He's very clear that he is the best player with the rest. People sort of give that to Kyron Wilson. Maybe we should just have sort of a showdown between them.
Three
where
more.
you have to use the rest every shot.
Yeah, it's a tough one, isn't it? I do think Shaun's more
54.
reliable with the rest, but I think Kyron tends to play like the more powerful shots and things. He seems to have a bit more range to his rest play, but I think Shaun's more reliable on like this kind of shot. If he did need the rest and something like this, he very, very rarely misses.
$55.
So already up to 55. Reds look like they're slightly covering each other. Maybe could get on one to a centre or top corner pocket if wishes, but he'll probably play into them here. The odds are he's going to land on something. How's he finished? It's not ideal, but it's not bad.
62.
Can just drop this red into left middle.
So, not much more to do here. He'll need another red after the green for a very comprehensive win. And apart from a couple of chances early in frame one, Andrew Pagett has just been sat in that seat watching. He was hoping, I'm sure, to catch Shaun Murphy cold,
66.
first match of the season, but it didn't take long for him to warm up, did it? This is match ball for 3-0. A very comprehensive performance today. Auguring well for the rest of the day, of course.
67.
Yep, it's been very, very impressive. And another chance. Well, you'd be surprised if he didn't
74.
go on and convert this to another century.
Well, the rest of the group will take notice, of course, of this performance. It's not impossible he could actually win the
82.
group before his last match, but more likely it'll come down to that match with Tian Pengfei later. But he may only need a draw from that. We'll see how the other results go,
83.
indeed how his next match goes. That'll annoy him. That'll annoy him.
Go on,
Even
Murphy,
though he's
83.
played brilliantly, he'd have loved another century.